Today on 10-Minute IT Jams, we have Alan Grainer, who is the General Manager of Enlighten Designs. So welcome to the jam, Alan.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks very much for having me today.
No worries at all. So it's been just over a year since my last interview with Enlighten. So can you tell me what's going on over there at the company in 2021, nearing the end of 2021, especially in terms of expanding your international presence?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's been a busy year for us in that 12 months, and really COVID has, in that sense, been a bit of a blessing in disguise for us. As everyone will know, the world has moved strongly into that sort of digital world of video conferencing, remote meetings. Everybody's working from somewhere. And one of the things that has enabled for us is to really advance our international business, because it doesn't matter so much where you are. If you can deliver good services, then companies will do business with you. And so location has not been the constraint for us that it was perhaps previously. So it means we've actually opened up business with a number of companies in North America in particular, and those are proving to be good, solid, ongoing projects where each party is providing value of some sort to the other. We were already doing that, but this is really has been an expansion year for us, and we've also used that to deliver a number of Microsoft Azure immersion workshops across not only in New Zealand but across the Tasman, directly into Australia, multiple geographies. We have had also the benefit of something from Enlighten, where we CEO is part of a international network called YPO, which is Young Professionals, and that set of connects across that network has helped us to expand as well.
Brilliant. So yeah, you mentioned Microsoft just then. So yeah, I've heard that Enlighten has been working on new products with Microsoft. So could you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can. There's a couple of things that we've been doing with them that are still sort of confidential, so I have to sit on those. And some of the work we do with Microsoft is behind the scenes, like some other companies. We're basically doing technical work, which is then Microsoft branded. However, one of the things I can talk to you about is an initiative and really a product which we call IDA for short. She's a beauty. IDA stands for Insight and Discovery Accelerator, and it's a heavily based on cognitive services and other Microsoft technologies. And it was something that was developed in the labs, and we had a little bit to do with it, but Microsoft then basically gave it to us to build out and take as our own. And we've been doing that over the last 12 months to the point where we actually have that now loaded up on the Microsoft commercial marketplace as a sellable platform-based service. So clients can actually go in to the marketplace, and purchase basically a product and some services based on a ready-to-go platform and load it up. We've got some people, a company based in France that's trialing it out at the moment, and a lot of interest, particularly from in the Northern Hemisphere, where there's perhaps the scale to make that interest grow. But essentially, this is going to roam around, particularly if you've an organization that's got a lot of unstructured data, like lots of records, some of which may have been scanned and digitized, but really trying to do multiple searches across all of that without having to necessarily organize it all first. And IDA will roam around and pull out keyword-based results, and got potentially multiple uses, multiple industries that this is a benefit to. So that's a big one. We have also been working on something called, which is called Scanner, which is still a bit of a product looking for a home, but it's pretty interesting. This was something that was developed in the US to enable journalists to actually scan police radio systems to pick up where there's incidents and be able to respond quickly, get a news team down to something that sounds like it's newsworthy from a media perspective. And yeah, pretty interesting stuff. Not every jurisdiction allows media companies to tap into the voice network, so it's got some limits to it. But again, the technology is potentially reusable in different scenarios as well. So we're looking at how that can play forward. Yeah.
Cool, that sounds fascinating. So yeah, moving on to the New Zealand International Business Awards. So Enlighten Designs was recently shortlisted as in the Best Emerging Business category of that. So can you tell me what led to that? What projects contributed to that nomination?
Sure. There's two or three that I can talk about. One of the North American clients we've been working with for a little while now, called Public Storage, which is a large self-storage company, basically right across continental USA. We've been working with them on their website in conjunction with Google, who had brought to the public storage's table that they were going to make some significant changes to SEO and rankings and so on in public storage. Had an opportunity to get ahead of the curve and make some improvements before all this sort of became mainstream. And so we've been working with them and in conjunction with Google and a company called Spinutech to really make major improvements. And that's been a big thing for us. Also been working with a couple of the companies within a group called Rocket Group, who it's not a brand that people would know in New Zealand, but it's big in the US. And then we've already talked about Microsoft, and which we've been working with Microsoft America for quite a few years now. So there's a particular projects and clients, but I think the thing that really is what carried us across the line is that we've been using each and every opportunity like this on the international stage to leverage that to get some more business, to get the most out of the work that we're doing. And there's that saying that overnight success is often underpinned by 10 years of hard work. And I think it was putting all that together, and it seemed like things had actually come together a bit on the night in terms of putting our presentation together, and it really having been a big thing for our business in this last year. So I think that was one of the things that took us to the finalist stage, which hopefully will happen as a physical event sometime in early 2022.
Yeah,
everybody has their fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I got one more question for you, Alan.
Sure.
It's a bit of a broader one. So what are the trends you're seeing in the industry lately, and how do they impact the work you do at Enlighten?
Sure. I think that the word of the day and the year is still around digitization. We can see this everywhere. It's sort of become a bit of a buzzword. We see that as still really in various forms being, that's the motion, whichever way you look. So, we talked about some of these large projects that we're doing in the US. We're basically helping companies to move from, an in-house desktop app into something more modern, to get that out to be web-based. We're doing that in an agile way with them, so companies can continue to get value progressively. It's not 18 months before you see anything, but it's a modernization. It's getting into the digital world. It's improving The user interface, it's improving the user experience, so like wherever a user is, the end customer can be engaging in a sort of more complete process sense, with that digital environment. So that's big. I think we continue to see clients are looking for websites if they don't have them, or if they do have them and it's basically brochureware. They're looking for something more than that. They're looking to get engagement and interaction with their customer base. And that's not just the commercial world either. I think some of the clients that we've got, local authorities are actually at the forefront of some of this. They may have had less drive initially to get down this path, but there's a couple in particular who are really cutting at the edge of their engagement with their with their ratepayers, with the members of their community. That's just pretty interesting to see that as well. And as I sort of build on that, across the board, there's rising consumer expectation for being able to access information and insights in multiple channels. So we're seeing, push for mobile friendly mobile apps. We recently did a piece of work with Carter's to create a mobile app for them, which is particularly focused on tradies and enabling them to connect from a building site and see what's available, make orders, and so on. So I think that's the other thing. There's degrees of market segmentation and personalization, which are really drivers for companies, commercial or otherwise, to really try to hone in on meeting needs in quite a individualized way, without being a turn off, if you like. So, those are sort of business-oriented, consumer-oriented trends which are driving technology and technology innovations and priorities. And, then it's said, I think we've been, in terms of the technology itself, we've been making a lot of investment in things like cognitive services. And we're a very heavy, strongly Microsoft-oriented player. We are a key, Microsoft is a key partner for us, and we like to think we are for them. So a lot of our work is based on Azure, and you can see the development of those technologies. Pretty much month on month, there's something new. So, in terms of being if you like, a technology company, one of the challenges in this world is to be able to keep up with new developments at the same time as undertaking new developments. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. There's been a lot happened in a year, and there's a lot going on. I think 2022 is going to be even bigger, bolder, brighter.
Yeah, fingers crossed, definitely. Yeah. So that's all we have time for today, Alan. But thank you for joining me again.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Look forward to talking to you in a year. Right.